What's up, guys? So it's been a little bit over a year since I started uploading videos to my YouTube channel, and I never formally introduced myself.
Who the fuck are you?
So, I am Raf Instinct, a rapper, songwriter, music producer / composer, and just overall modern day DIY musician and content creator. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, which is the immediate region east of downtown LA, pretty much everything between San Dimas and Laverne and Pasadena. So I was born in Arcadia, raised between Pomona, Rowland Heights, and Diamond Bar. I got into music by being exposed to it by my elders my entire upbringing, and in becoming a fan of music, I developed artistic tendencies, interests, and that eventually transpired into me wanting to become a musician myself. I started rapping at 11 years old. A childhood friend of mine from elementary, who I'm still tied with to this day, suggested that we just both do so one day. We both started off as hip-hop fans together, and it was just an activity that he wanted us to do. And from there, the feeling that I developed from doing so felt really good, as self-expression had been a real core part of my being from childhood. And sure enough, here I am, all the musical experiences and exposures later, across over a decade, pursuing this musical aspiration of mine. My musical influences vary. I try to keep a well-rounded music taste and playlist. I can pinpoint from childhood being influenced early on by Green Day, and that went to Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent. A lot of Hopsin in the mid-2000s and early 2010s was very influential to me. Of course, Cole and Kendrick for that conscious, introspective backpack rap style that's still lyrical, shaped a lot of my game and penmanship. And also, to have to credit Linkin Park as a big influence of mine as well. Even though I got into their music a little bit later than when they were at their peak, certainly their play in cross-pollination of music genres and just cultures in general represent a lot of what I want to do in music and just a lot of what I appreciate as a music fan. Aside from rapping at 11 years old, I took band as an 8th grade student, so I played the trombone, and then continuing rapping from elementary school to middle school to high school. I wound up becoming a men's choir baritone as a high school senior. Then from there, I did my time in college. Post-pandemic, I started learning music theory for a semester, and then that became music production lessons with DAWs and keyboards and instruments and stuff like that. Then from there, I started matriculating out of making music in the confines of a college curriculum and started making stuff that I intended to use for my career. A lot of what my debut EP, Crosshairs, consists of is material that represents that timeline where I'm kind of transitioning out of being a college music producer and trying to be a professional artist. Yeah, certainly that's the meat and potatoes of my music experience and background. I'd have to say Dre, of course, West Coast legend, unparalleled sonics, certainly some of the best instrumentals ever made. Havoc of Mobb Deep, a lot of his production is fantastic to my ears. I listened to a lot of Mobb Deep growing up, and certainly he has a very unique ear for catching samples, so definitely Havoc. I'd have to say Scott Storch. Certainly seeing him be a piano aficionado inspired me when I started taking piano lessons. And also he has a very good sense for rhythm and melody. A lot of his instrumentals have these fantastic riffs that are just so memorable as soon as you hear them. Still DRE, Naughty Girl by Beyonce, Run It by Chris Brown, like you name it. Scott Storch has many fantastic records that are heavy hitters in and out of hip hop. If I were to work with a couple different artists today, I'd certainly want to work with Kendrick, J. Cole, Hopsin, Crooked I, and I think it'd be dope if I worked with Gaga. If me and Lady Gaga did a collab together in the future, that'd be fire as fuck. A couple of non-mainstream music acts that I really am a fan of right now would have to be Don Michael Jr., who's a rapper, producer, and engineer out of Camden, New Jersey. He's really dope. I found out about him via Instagram. Then Moray, he had a big splash with Quicksand during COVID. Moray has a lot of fantastic melodies, and I like a lot of what Moray's doing. Yeah, Quicksand kind of got me through the pandemic for sure, so shout out Moray. Then I'd have to say Tomorrow's Effect, which is a rock band from around my way. They're from Hacienda Heights. I went to school with the lead singer of the band, so he's a real cool dude. What up, Ray, if you're watching this? And I'd have to say the Frick Fracks, which is another alternative band from around here in SGV as well. I met them once. They were the guest performers for an event thrown by a classmate of mine from college. He had a single release party, and he's tight with them apparently, so he brought them out to perform, and I've been a fan of their music from that night on, so shout out to Frick Fracks. Dream piece of music gear of mine would definitely be the ATC 45 monitors or the PMC 62s. My biggest musical aspiration is to be the first rapper with a James Bond theme song. And I'm not even afraid to say that because, one, I'm not the only person with an idea, let alone that idea. And with the internet and how, ideas circulate and just, things can get out there, I have no problem throwing that out. I definitely want to be the first rapper with a James Bond theme song, for sure. As of right now, I'm working on more music. I released my debut EP, Crosshairs, on March 22nd, which was my 24th birthday. And ever since, I've just been, balancing a day job and working on content and also writing every day, producing on weekends, and just really putting together songs for the second body of work I would have ever put out. So yeah, sophomore season, baby. We're getting to it.